What's going on, guys? I'm coming to you with a special profile with the one and only, the legend, the living carnivore. You know who he is. You don't want to see him at locals, but you will. He just topped a very special tournament with, yes, the band card in the OCG. Put it up to the camera again. We need to see that
Yeah, we
boy
got the
again.
catapult
He
turtle,
actually topped.
That's
He actually topped with that guy, so you gotta stay tuned to that. But without any more further ado, I'm gonna let him just take over it and let you know about the Dark World himself.
so we play 3 Rainbow. This guy is really good. He searches your other Dark Worlds, your Silva, and your Grapha. I do regret not playing 3 Grapha just as it breaks boards. And it helps you also bounce these guys. So the main play is once you actually start circulating your Dark Worlds is after having a Silva on the field, you can just bounce your Silva to summon your Rainbow, bounce your Rainbow to summon your Grapha. You just plus 2 cards, have a level 8 on the field, and then once you discard your Silva and get these cards on the graveyard again by linking them or discarding them, you just can do it again, just making a crazy advantage. You know, it's kind of overwhelming to a point where it's not like a lot, it's not like it's doing a crazy amount, but for how it complements the deck, you know, it lets you turbo out a Hope Harbinger too and other builds. So those are the big guys.
Yeah, just being able to squeeze out a 38 is pretty neat.
Yeah, and it's so your big guy is that's the other thing you'll see later in the deck, that you kind of want big monsters, and this with the field spell turns into 3300 attack. So you know you kind of always got the bigger guy, and Fusion Grapha gets really big too. So we got the 3 Snow searches itself, and any other Dark World card. This searches your fusion spell. It can search your like Pot of Greed for the deck. It can search any of these guys, and then it also searches Genta. A lot of times you're gonna either go for Genta or Rainbow or the fusion, and it all depends on your hand, and that's where like knowing the deck comes into I call it a freestyle combo deck, because you really don't know, especially with the dangers in the deck, like how things are gonna go down. So you just kind of like going as you go. So sometimes Snow grabs another Snow, and that Snow will grab another Snow, or sometimes Snow just grabs the Rainbow so you can dig into your other stuff. And Genta's a new card from the structure deck that came out a couple years ago now. I guess it's not so new, but one of their newer support cards that just searches the gates of the Dark World, and then it also lets you special summon it when it's banished. And then just like I said with these guys, you can just bounce your Dark Worlds to bounce these back to your hand. So then you can just search gates again, keep drawing, keep digging. It's just really solid and really nice option for the deck. And the deck probably wouldn't operate without the Genta or the Rainbow. So and then the last one we got is Ceruli. This card will make you cry if you don't have hand traps or know how to play them against the deck. Also, so it essentially makes me discard, and I'm always going to be doing it usually when I have the Silva. Silva's kind of like the heart and soul of the deck, because a lot of it revolves around him. So I play 2 because I'm scared of Bisteels and DD Crows. You really need your Silva to go through. But when he's discarded by your opponent's card effect, they need to return 2 cards from their hand to the bottom of their deck. And there are ways to loop this where you can bounce the Ceruli. After you do that, do it again, making your opponent start with 2 cards. And when you have like an Appaloosa and the fusion that negates, and even like a Masquerade, it's just kind of game over, honestly. If you can hand loop with the deck, it's pretty much FTK. So there I will say this is it can be bad and hurt you, because there are times that Ceruli might be the only fiend that you can discard in your hand, and you're trying to dig and draw with gates, and when you discard Ceruli, it's not it's mandatory, so you are discarding, even if you have to discard a good card that you don't want to discard. So you have to be careful with it. And then when I'm going second, I'm usually always siding this and one of the Silvas out. So then moving on.
Like you have knowledge with it. It seems like you have a lot of knowledge with the deck. Can you let us know have you ever topped before with this deck, and how many years have you been playing with it, and future for Dark World in your eyes?
Yeah, so I have taken this deck to regionals the past like 2 to 3. Actually, it goes back to the FTK. There was a Dark World FTK with Firewall Dragon where you would just keep on, you know, you could keep on special summoning a Grapha, pop the Grapha, burn them, and just keep doing that. So ever since kind of like that was the time that Dark World was in the meta, you know, I've kind of bounced around. Purely came out, and Purely really helped give me like some creative ideas because it triggers all of their effects. So I've gone to a regional like probably about 3 to 4 times now with this deck, and it's the deck I like never really give up on. I do plan to go to nationals with it, and I'm currently sitting at 33 out of 100 hours of like commitment, kind of like my little gimmick with it. So this Star Charity put me at the 33 hours, got top 8. It like gave me hope, honestly. We play 3 Nessie, 1 Thunderbird, 1 Jackalope, 1 Chupacabra, 1 Mothman, and my favorite danger of all, the Catalyzer, which is not a danger, but it's honestly the best one that you want because it lets you not go into an RNG like mode. Like it lets you just confirm, discard your Silva to summon this. I'm sorry, I should say a lot of people might not know what it does. You can reveal this in another Fiend, discard the Fiend, and then summon this. And it's a level 4. Helps you make the Garrus, which is your Pot of Greed, and then also just discarding any of these is going to give you value. So getting a free body on the board, a free discard, and you know, ability to potentially draw free cards. I like that. That's
What's the
what's that?
name of that card again?
The card is Salamander Catalyzer, and it also has a graveyard effect that if a Fiend is destroyed by battle or a card effect, I believe you can bounce it back to your hand from the graveyard. So it's got good recursion too and follow up. Now, the one thing I will say about the dangers is I was testing Tezuka Noko, and I felt like I wanted the bird or a Bigfoot over that. And the bird was kind of there just in case like they were playing like a Fire King Island or something. I mean, I don't really think it's good logic. I would have rather had the 3K beater. So that is something, maybe switching this for the Bigfoot or even playing an additional danger. The dangers are nice and just kind of give you plays. But they can also get sniped and they can hurt you. So that's the risk you take. But playing this deck, honestly, it's a RNG combo based deck. So that's it for the
Played a dark
dangers.
last week, and I sniped 3 dangers in his hand, and it was terrible.
Yeah, it can be like really good or really bad, like really bad. And I mean, just to, I guess, while we're talking about like, you know, dangers and sevens, you asked me the history of the deck too. I actually, when Kashtira came out, I played a Kashtira engine where we would make Dracosac because Nessie, and of course one of the Kashtira cards, and just being able to make Dracosac and Link, 2 of the Dracosac 2 tokens can turn into Tribini, and then Tribini can send the dog thing, and the dog, Demon Dog can add Rainbow. So yeah, there's some cool stuff that you can do. And then also having the Dracosac and the Tribini, you're 1 card away from having a 3-mat Apo. So like this deck just can, like most of the effects are in your hand and in the graveyard. So your opponent's like, they're waiting to hand trap all your field interactions and stuff. But when you just shit out a big like Omni Negate early or Apple early, and when they don't have the Droll or Shifter and you can just actually play the game, this deck is probably one of the craziest. Like when this deck flows, like it goes. And I mean, yeah, you're putting up just crazy stuff. But I know you know. So moving on, this is the newest implication of the deck. I love it. Tour guide. Shout out to those Dark World duelists over in Europe, just grinding, you know, topping nationals, making me kind of inspired, honestly. And they were playing tour guide, and the main reason we play for a couple reasons. We play because it's a Dark Fiend and it's QCR. We also play it because of Versace. This card, it's Versago the Destroyer, but we call him Versace. And this lets you, honestly... Yeah, look, he's drippy. Look at that.
Gotta edit in there saying Versace.
um,
Those
no,
are QCR. Can't negate them, by the way.
they are. Yeah, you can't negate the Nessies. You can't negate the tour guides unless you have your QCR. That's the rules. That's
Yeah, unless you have perm, probably.
But this tour guide has more than just this one target, which is a fusion substitute. This is how we make our big color list because he does require a bad dark world, and we want to play no bad cards. So we just play this, and we also play the Demon Dog King. Shout out Kyler, Gally W. He came in clutch with this card. He looks like he would have this card. He has every freaking card, dude. I love that guy. Essentially what you're doing here is you're using the tour guide to pull out the Doom Dog, and then the Doom Dog these two are gonna either go straight into well, you have two options. So you're either gonna go straight into your Droll protection, which is Gossip Shadow. This just changes effects to your opponent's effects to each draw a card. So this also lets you play around things like Ash, Nibiru, anything that you're kind of fearing. The only thing it doesn't is Shifter, because they can Shifter you, of course, before you get it out. But when you're usually not scared of that game one, and when they don't have the Droll, and when you're really going for your combo for your Apo, and to get more advantage, you summon the dog, you link these two away into Cherbini, and then Cherbini will send this, and this dog will add the rainbow. And then the rainbow will add you this or this. And then it just kind of gets things going. You can also do, if you already have like a danger on the field, or if you're feeling like maybe you're, sensing some hand traps, or you're playing against a hand trap heavy deck, just have one danger, summon your tour guide, and if you get one more body on board, like a Silva, another danger, or a lot of times Genta when it's banished, you can just pitch this, grab a Gates, activate your Gates, banish this, discard a Fiend, draw a card, summon this, and then there's your format Apple right there, and you're searching a rainbow off of this. I did that a lot at the Star Charity. So just putting out like an Apple that they don't see coming, like before they can hand trap you and do things, it's really nice, honestly. And yeah, Apple does carry this deck. Finally, to the spells, we got 3 extension. Extension is broken. You want to hard open this, and you're searching this with snow a lot. It gives you free discard fodder and makes your big Dark World fusions. 3 gates. We can shuffle this back and search it 4 times. It's actually kind of nuts, and it's the heart and soul of the deck. Speaking of another heart and soul of the deck, Dark Corridor. One of their newer support cards literally says add a Dark World, discard a card, so it gets everything going for you. It's a really good starter. I've tested playing 1, 2, and 3, and I say unfortunately because this card is dead a lot when you see it, but you need to open it, so we need to play 3. The one of, I would not be playing this if it wasn't for Kyler. It's a weird card because it can like brick your hand but also unbrick your hand, so it's basically a free discard fodder for Dark World, and whenever a Dark World monster is discarded by a Dark World effect, you can draw to discard a card. So sometimes it does make you brick, but it's kind of just like, it's a name, searchable, and yeah, it can draw you cards. Speaking of that, we got Talents, another card that draws cards, and my favorite card that draws cards is Card Destruction. Like, if you're a tier player or a Dark World player, you know about this card because this is your mowing the grass, right? So a cool thing about this deck is you give your opponent Ceruli, which makes them have a monster and activate a monster effect. So Thrust is live. Shout out to Birdman coming in clutch with the Thrust. Appreciate it. The team's back. Fucking love it. Thrust searches this, and your corridor. So most of the time you're going to see this before, you never really add this. You're going for the card destruction or the talents. And I should also note that if you can do the hand loop with Ceruli twice, you can just get greedy and you can do your talents to rip the last card that they have, and they start with 1 card. So you can full hand rip with talents. which is nuts because when you have a set skill drain, it's even more crazy because they can't do really anything then. That's the thing is like you rip the hand, you have this crazy oppressive field, and you even have an Appaloosa on the board with the skill drain. It feels like but you know what? Apple gets taken care of really easily from mind control, like other things, you know. So
yeah, always looking out to.
Yep, the skill drain is absolutely absurd. So we play synchros. We just play one, the Chaos Angel. Shout out Othello coming in clutch with that. We got the Gossip Shadow, changes effects. It's basically an Omni Negate. Even putting out your Dark World Fusion, an Apple, and this, or any combination of the two is decent. You do Garrus, which has crazy plays. You can even do the one-shot FTK with Catapult Turtle, doubling your color's attack to 8, from 8k to 16 and one-shotting. You've got your 2 Grapha. Honestly, I don't like not having 2, but it didn't come up where I needed to, so this could be another slot in the extra deck. And then Colorless, most crazy card in the deck. On Fusion, summon, destroy all cards your opponent controls. And you usually have the quick play that you can do during their main phase to do this, and you can chain Rainbow to it to chain block it. Keisha Magician bounces your dangers, your Dark World, the Cerulean, anything else that they have. Super good, part of combo. You have a little bit of removal here with the Phoenix, the Muckcracker standard. This is the Tribini to get your dog play going. And then I played IP and the Unicorn. This is how you shuffle back your own stuff and even your own Ceruli that you summoned. We would play Little Knight probably over this or over the other Grapha. We have the Appaloosa and the Saryuja. Saryuja did come in clutch. Helps you dig into just doing like your bigger plays and drawing 4 and putting 3 back with Dark World is just insane. And then one of my favorite board breaker cards, the Goddess Shadow. This deck just spams, so being able to just like link their stuff away and then still play safe is amazing. Catapult Turtle. It honestly didn't come up. I did put it in a couple times. It's won me games before, like online and stuff. But what's that?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, it's dope because it is your time card. Like if you see this, the idea is that you can draw it off of Saryuja, you can summon it off of Saryuja, and then I didn't realize that it had it's a once per turn. It's a hard once per turn now. So you need to find a way to get it back if you want to do it more than once. But again, you have this, you're colorless, and you can make your Dugaris. That's your FTK right there if you have enough fiends. So it's kind of cool and gimmicky, and it's OG, and the OCG just banned it, so it's gotta be good, right? We got Druis Worm and Magmod. We put these in. I hard opened the Druis Worm a couple times, and it was just nuts to kind of do it casually with my own combo. I banished Genta on my opponent's turn, and then I was able to summon the Genta back, like draw, and then this and Genta go into Chaos Angel, and then banish and remove. It's freaking nice. I love Druis Worm. It's so good. And then for all my haters, this is for you, right here.
He was ready for you guys. He was not.
And what's funny is I'm really not playing because the Nationals build plays even Prohibition and Sales Ban, because literally the only thing that stops this deck is like the Droll and a well-timed like Nibiru or even Imperm. So like even like the Sales Ban, dude, like if you have one of these and you open the sales, it's like you can play around double things, but then again it's like overpopulating your deck, your combo deck with like these kind of gimmicky cards. It's I don't know if you guys can see, but it is a struggle to try to like I don't know. You almost have to play it to understand, but
look,
you know.
He is a surgeon, guys. Dr. Mosier, trying to figure.
Dr. Dark World Mosier. So finishing up, we've got the last book. I kind of threw this in to test it out. I was kind of uncertain about the format, and I know Youve makes some crazy boards, and it's not crazy bad against Snake Eye, but I didn't really throw it in. Like, I threw it in my side, but I didn't throw it in throughout the day, so don't really know how good that card is right now. And then the OP cards are the Dimension Barrier against Melodious and against Tenpai, and just like any other just random BS, but mainly those two decks is insane. And then Eradicator is still really good. So it basically, you see all these free dark big bodies, and yeah, this card just will completely wipe out, you know, your opponent's hand and field. And then 3 evenly. That's also what this card does. So this card was probably MVP of the side deck. I was putting it in like every single game that I wasn't going first, and it was just blowing out the Melodious players, blowing up the Snake Eye players, and blowing out the Youve players. Oh, dry mouth. I'm sorry. So overall, it's good to have you know, this training that I've had has been amazing. Like, I appreciate the support from the teammates. I haven't even gone to locals a lot, honestly. I've just been doing testing on my own solitaire on Omega and with the team. So, like, shout out Team wnax, shout out all you guys at the Star Charity, you know, in the community. It's been great playing you, learning with you guys, growing with you guys. Yeah, big thank you to all of our, you know, our sponsors. Check out the link tree. We got some cool stuff going on there. And then, of course, shout out my channel, Cardboard Carnivores. And shout out the man, the myth himself, the legend, the Birdman, Ali Genix, Mr. Mr. Interviewer here. I appreciate you, John, all that you
do. Well, appreciate you guys tuning in, and we hope to see you topping nationals and to get an update on your Dark World profile.
Yes, you'll see it around for sure.